Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. Our last guest is an Afro-Latina poet from New York who's been writing poetry for the last 14 years. Her poetry has appeared in Gulf Coast, Prairie Schooner, Academy of American Poets, Poem a Day, and more. Her first project, The Pink Box, was longlisted for a PEN Award in 2011, and she's working on her second project, Muse Found in a Colonized Body, and it's coming out in 2022. Welcome, Yesenia Montilla. Hello.
Hi, Rhina. So good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. And congratulations on the commitment to the next book.
I'm very excited about it. Thank you. It's a long time coming, so I've been working on it for a while.
It's lovely. It's lovely. And your work is lovely. Your work is very profound. And I am so happy to share you with our viewers today.
I'm happy to be here.
Oh my goodness. So I do want to just encourage people that if you don't have her book, and we will tell you how you can obtain her books or her book and a book that she's featured in an anthology. But if you do have a moment, please visit her website because there is something so like soothing and relatable and even therapeutic going through your poetry last night that I was able to experience. So let's talk, I guess, about your foundation of your topics and or your subjects.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for saying that my poetry is soothing.
It is.
I try to live in a space in which everything is everything is kind of attacked with love. So that means a lot to me. I wanted to always think about how I can bring other people into my world and how I can also recognize other people and what their struggles are in relation to mine. So a lot of the ways that I do that is by talking about Afro-Latinidad, what it means to be in this space, right? Where there's a whole part of you that's hidden for a very long time. And then all of a sudden it's 2020 and everyone's talking about Afro-Latinidad. But that
Right.
was talked about when I was growing up. And so that's something that is in the forefront of my work, as well as I think coming from colonization and coming from enslaved people and that trauma. So I really try to dig into those subjects, but with love, I think.
And so you have, and I also like the duality that you play with in the language, right? I guess what we would refer to as Spanglish. However, even the style in which it's written is its own poetry, with the separations of the words. I know I'm giving you all of this because I'm really encouraging people to go read it, especially during these times where I think we are in a space and a place where everyone's identity is being questioned, and not just through race or culture, just in humanity. And it speaks to that. It speaks to that. From an urban perspective, I might add.
Yeah, well, that's one thing too. The first book has a whole section about the city, because at the end of the day, even though I come Caribeños, my life is about New York. Like I grew up here, I was a kid running the streets, I was taking the subway at 11. And so I wanted to also honor that aspect of it as well, that yes, I come from these people that have migrated here and immigrated here, but this is the landscape that I know best.
And so when you write, and as if it's soothing to me and it's therapy for me, how did you find your voice in that therapy, right? Because it is therapeutic to just put your thoughts and feelings down on paper, but it's another thing to create a story with a rhythm in it.
I think a lot of it is just studying. I'm surrounded by books, and there's so many like modern contemporary poets that I go to over and over again to sort of figure out how they've done things and say, how can I create my own voice? How can I create my own aesthetic within the stories that I want to tell? So a lot of it is just being really, really studious, but some of it, I always say like the ancestors walk with me. And sometimes I'll write a poem and I'm like, oh, did I just write that? It's almost like something came over me. And so I feel like the ancestors are always kind of watching and they're always kind of guiding my pen in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I see you honoring Frida Kahlo behind you, wearing your wrap, right? Or what we would call a corona. You've got some beautiful, colorful earrings going on there. So you're representing the ancestors too.
I hope so. I really do. I mean, that's
So,
something that I think about, every day. What am I doing to honor the ancestors?
and so in doing that, what is your intent in passing it forward?
My intent is for our stories to be told, my stories to be told, my family's stories to be told, and for anyone that needs it to find solace in these stories and to know that they're not alone. And also at the same time to also look back and honor my ancestors and say, I'm writing because you existed. I'm writing because you struggled. I'm writing because you fought. And so I think those are my intentions, truly.
Truly, and you know what? I can see it and I can feel it, and I read it, and I'm so excited that you're going to share something with us today. I mentioned that you are also part of an anthology, but just in case you guys are interested in knowing, Pink Box is her first book, and the second book is going to be 2022 Muse Found. Is it 2022 Muse
It's coming
Found?
out in 2022.
It's coming out in 2022, and it's Muse Found in a Colonized Body, which that within itself sounds extremely profound and really deep rooted, right? Because it's kind of like, wait a minute, how are we even like? So I can't wait to see how that one's going to come out. But what are you going to be presenting for us today?
Oh, so I have a poem, actually two poems out in this anthology, Latin Next. I wanted to show this anthology just to everyone watching because I think that sometimes folks are like, well, where do I go if I wanted to like get a vast knowledge of all the Latino voices out there that are writing? I think this anthology is comprehensive. It came out this year. And so if anyone's interested, this is a great place to start.
Can you show me the thickness of it?
Oh, it's super thick.
Look
Yeah.
at that. That's amazing. There's a lot of poets in there.
It's tons. I think it's like 300 pages of poetry. Yeah.
And
So
you're in there.
yeah, and it's incredible, and they're all over the country. So you get a taste of all flavors. So I highly recommend this for sure. And Willie Perdomo was one of the editors, along with Jose Olivares and Felicia Chavez. So yeah.
And it's available on Amazon.com.
You can get it on Amazon.com if you want to support small presses. Haymarket Books is the press that put this together.
Awesome. And you're going to be reading for us today.
I am. I'm going to be reading La Bodega, A Gentrification Story. Outside the bodega, it is spring, a 60-degree evening, and the men are playing dominoes. Their granddaughters with pigtails and pink bomber jackets and matching leggings are hopscotching. I take a turn before going inside. On the line, I hold onto a bag of perejil, una yautía, dos yuca, y un cartón de huevos. Tonight, dinner is a taíno feast, and this is where my mind has wandered when the white woman slides in front of me. She slams her Diet Coke, bag of butter lettuce, box of rice aroni, and a can of tuna on the counter. El bodeguero looks in my direction. He knows I carry inside me the kind of ancestors that would cut a, but I say nothing. The air that comes through the door is so soft, like a lover's sweet hands, and I'm feeling generous. You should carry organic eggs. Then I don't have to go to the supermarket, which is so out of my way. The bodeguero asks, are you going to buy all my organic foods if I order them? She responds, yes, me and all my friends. I stop paying attention. Behind the glass counter are 3 Dominican newspapers on display. One of the captions stops me. Exclusivo. ¿Quién era Cristóbal Colón? In an instant, I'm giggling uncontrollably. I have no idea who he was, but I know at the very least, he was the kind of human that landed in a place some called paradise. And instead of enjoying the view, he asked for organic eggs and cut the line. Rhina.
Oh my, oh my, oh my.
Thank you. Thank you.
Educating in the process. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Yesenia Montilla, everyone.
Thanks for having
And
me.
thank you so much for bringing that here to our audience. You have any last words before we go?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to like show people the pink box specifically because of the cover. The cover is a painting by Raúl Villarreal, who is no longer with us. He was a Cuban painter, and so this is supposed to be Oshun ascending, and I wanted to kind of like leave us with Oshun in our thoughts.
I love that. Thank you for showing us that. And where can people get that book?
You can get it at Willow Books. That's my publisher for that book, and it's also available on Amazon. But I always say try to get it directly from the press because I love to support small presses.
I love it. And it's important for us to support our small businesses. And thank you for closing us out with the Goddess of Love and Artists. Beautiful. Mafirifuno Shun, you guys, once again. For more on Yesenia, you can visit yeseniamontilla.com and make sure to follow her on Instagram at Yesenia Montilla Poet. All right, that's our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the Recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at bronxnet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide peace, prosperity, y amor, and bueno, wear your mask and don't forget to vote.